Everything begins in the unseen. Before the phone rings, before the message arrives, before their voice reaches your ear, there is a vibration within you that calls it forth. You do not make them call you by waiting or hoping. You make them call you by becoming the one who is already called. Creation is finished. The moment you desire their call, it already exists in a dimension unseen by the senses. Your only task is to step into the version of yourself for whom that call is already a fact. Close your eyes and imagine the feeling of your phone lighting up with their name. Don't just see it, feel it. Feel that inner thrill, that warmth in your chest, that quiet knowing that they thought of you, that they couldn't resist reaching out. Hear their voice saying your name. Let it be so real that your mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality, because in truth, there is none. Imagination is the womb of reality, and whatever you hold there with faith must take form. Do not think of them calling you. Think from the state of already being called. Feel the satisfaction after it has happened. The mistake most make is to pray for what they want as though it were distant. But the wise know every prayer must be from the end. You are not trying to make it happen. You are assuming that it already has. You are not reaching out. You are resting in fulfillment. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you set a law in motion that no one can stop. Their mind becomes drawn to yours. Circumstances rearrange themselves to fulfill your inner conviction. Suddenly, they will think of you for no reason. Something within them will whisper your name. They will feel the impulse to check on you, to hear your voice, to reconnect. That impulse is not random. It is your assumption made flesh. You do not chase, you create. You do not beg, you embody. The moment you stop wondering when they'll call and start feeling that they already have, everything changes. The law responds not to words, but to vibration, to the state of consciousness you occupy. And when you occupy the state of already being chosen, already being desired, already being remembered, the world bends to reflect that inner truth. Tonight, before you sleep, enter that state. Lie still and imagine the phone lighting up. Hear the sound of their voice. Feel the joy that wells up in you. Drift into sleep knowing it is done. As you fall asleep in that feeling, you impress your desire upon the subconscious, the one and only power that brings all things to pass. And when you awaken, do not look for evidence with doubt. Walk as though it has already happened. Keep your energy steady, your heart full, and your mind quiet. Let the unseen do its work. You will notice subtle signs, an inner peace, a sudden knowing, a shift in energy. And soon, The physical will mirror your imagination. The call will come, not because you begged or waited, but because you dared to assume it was already yours. Everything that exists in your life, every joy, every conversation, every connection, was once invisible. Before it was seen, it was imagined. Before it appeared, it was felt. The universe does not begin with form, it begins with awareness. What you perceive as the physical world is nothing more than crystallized imagination. Thought made visible, emotion given structure. When you desire a call from someone, that desire is not the beginning of creation. It is the recognition of something that already exists in the unseen realm. The very moment you feel the longing, the reality of that experience is created. Creation is finished, and all possible outcomes already exist in consciousness. You are not waiting for it to happen. You are selecting which version of reality you wish to experience. This is the mystery most never understand. They chase, they plead, they hope, believing that time must pass and circumstances must change before they can receive what they want. But time is only the movement of your awareness through already established possibilities. You are not traveling toward the event, you are aligning yourself with it. The call you desire is already made, already complete, already recorded in the great tapestry of creation. What seems to you as waiting is only the shifting of your inner perception until your senses catch up with your belief. So the fastest way to make them call you is not by action, not by manipulation, not by seeking signs, but by stepping into the awareness that the call already exists. This is not pretending or forcing yourself to believe something untrue. It is realizing that in the infinite mind of creation, there is already a reality where they have called, where you have spoken, where the connection is restored. That version of you is not far away. It is here now, existing in a parallel vibration of consciousness. You do not create it, you tune into it. You shift your attention from the absence of the call to the fulfillment of it. Imagine a radio. Each station is already broadcasting, but you only hear the one your tuner is aligned with. When you are tuned to lack, wondering, doubting, needing, you are simply listening to the frequency of "it hasn't happened." When you tune to fulfillment, gratitude, calm, knowing, you begin hearing the frequency of "it's already done." And once you hold that vibration steadily, your external world reorganizes to reflect it. The phone rings not as a miracle, but as a natural echo of your inner state. You see, everything moves in harmony with your inner assumption. The one who calls you is not separate from your consciousness. They are part of it. Their action is the reflection of your belief. When you believe they cannot stop thinking about you, they begin to feel that pull. When you believe you are forgotten, they drift away. Every person plays the role your imagination assigns them. So the question is not, will they call? But, who am I being within myself? If you are the one who is already loved, already remembered, already desired, then the world must conform to that identity. Creation being finished means there is no lack, no waiting, no delay except what you impose by doubt. The instant you imagine it with feeling, it is done. Your task is not to make it happen, but to accept that it has happened. Acceptance is faith. Faith is not wishing, faith is knowing. To say, I know they will call, is not true faith. True faith says, they have called. It is finished. It is done. And though your senses may still report silence, your inner conviction will override appearances. The outer world always yields to the inner one, never the other way around. When you truly grasp this, a peace settles over you. You stop chasing. You stop checking your phone every few minutes. You stop wondering if they think of you. You rest in the quiet certainty that all things unfold from consciousness, and consciousness is already fulfilled. You are no longer in a state of hoping. You are in the state of knowing. And in that knowing, reality bends. The call comes. The timing appears perfect. You feel as if the universe has conspired to make it happen overnight. But in truth, it was already done the moment you assumed it. To live in the awareness that creation is finished is to rise above time. You stop asking when, because when implies separation from your desire. You understand that everything you seek is already here, waiting for your recognition. The unseen is more real than what you can touch. The invisible is the source of the visible. When you align your inner perception with the finished work of creation, you step into effortless manifestation. Now, to live from the end is to act and feel from the state of already being called. This is not a mental trick, but a shift in identity. Most people think of what they want. They imagine it as something apart from them. But to think from it is to become one with the desire. When you think of something, you separate yourself from it. When you think from it, you embody it. The difference between hoping for a call and living as though it has already come is everything. Let's say you want them to call tonight. Instead of wondering if they will, close your eyes and move your awareness to the moment after the call. Feel the phone in your hand, the soft echo of their voice still ringing in your ears. Sense the joy, the excitement, the relief, the warmth of knowing you are reconnected. Feel the comfort of that moment until it becomes more real than your current state of waiting. This is living from the end. You do not try to make it happen. You dwell in the feeling that it already has. Living from the end means you are no longer asking or hoping. You are remembering. You are recalling something that already exists in your inner world. This is why manifestation feels so natural when it happens. It feels like remembering, not achieving. You suddenly say, "Of course it happened. I always knew it would." Because deep down, you had already lived it. You had already walked through that moment in imagination so vividly that it had to appear in the physical world. When you live from the end, you are immune to appearances. Even if the day passes in silence, you remain unshaken because you know that physical reality is always a lagging reflection of inner conviction. You do not look to the outer world for confirmation. You look within and you feel the truth. The emotional reality you sustain determines how quickly the physical must conform. If you remain faithful to the inner vision, the outer must bend. The law cannot fail. Most people delay their manifestation because they oscillate between faith and doubt. One moment they feel confident, the next they check their phone in anxiety, thereby affirming the absence of the call. But when you dwell in the end consistently, when you refuse to react to appearances, you maintain the vibration of fulfillment. That steady energy sends a clear signal into the unseen, and all conditions must align to match it. The person, the timing, the conversation, all fall perfectly into place. You are not waiting for them to change their mind. You are changing your state of being. Once your inner state shifts, their behavior must follow. They may feel a sudden urge to reach out. A thought may flash across their mind, reminding them of you. Or they may dream of you and awaken with the desire to hear your voice. These are the natural bridges of events through which your assumption becomes fact. You never need to interfere or question how. It unfolds with perfect precision. To live from the end requires imagination with feeling. The mind alone cannot move mountains, but emotion can. Feeling is the secret ingredient that transforms thought into experience. When you imagine the call, do not merely see it. Feel the joy, the excitement, the satisfaction. Let that feeling saturate your being until it becomes your natural state. The more real it feels inside, the faster it must appear outside. Do not confuse waiting with resting. Waiting implies uncertainty. Resting implies faith. When you rest in the feeling that it is already done, you are no longer tense, no longer anxious, no longer searching for signs. You walk with quiet assurance. You speak as one who knows. You move through your day in calm expectancy, not because you are hoping, but because you are certain. That certainty, that inner peace, is magnetic. It radiates from you and draws the experience into your life. Living from the end also means aligning your self-concept with the fulfilled version of you. If you imagine being called, but continue to see yourself as unwanted or forgotten, your conflicting vibration delays the manifestation. You must become the one who is naturally desired, naturally loved, naturally remembered. The moment you embody that identity, the world mirrors it effortlessly. The call becomes inevitable. You no longer chase, it comes to you. And when it does, it will feel almost effortless, as though it happened overnight. You will smile, remembering how you once worried, only to realize that nothing ever stood between you and that experience except your own state of mind. You had to become the version of yourself for whom the call was natural, not miraculous. Living from the end made it so. Every moment you have a choice to think of your desire or from it. Thinking of it keeps it distant. Thinking from it makes it real. The difference is subtle but transformative. To think from it, you must feel from it. Let the emotion of fulfillment saturate you until there is no space left for doubt. That emotional conviction is the bridge that connects the unseen with the seen. You may think you are waiting for them to call, but in truth, the universe is waiting for you to assume the state of being called. Once you inhabit that vibration, time collapses. Events rearrange themselves to fulfill your assumption. The phone rings. The message comes through. The connection is restored, not by chance, but by law. Creation was finished long before you desired the call. You simply awakened to the version of reality where that call was part of your experience. Living from the end is your way of aligning with that finished creation. You are no longer seeking, you are remembering. You are not asking, you are claiming. You are not hoping, they already called, and you are living in the afterglow of that truth. When you master this way of being, you will understand that nothing is ever missing from your life. Every desire is already fulfilled in some layer of consciousness. The call you want, the love you seek, the connection you long for, they are all yours the moment you feel them to be. The outer world is only the shadow of your inner knowing. And when that knowing becomes unwavering, the shadow must reflect it perfectly. So tonight, as you lie in bed, let go of all longing and step into fulfillment. Do not ask for the call. Feel that it has already happened. Smile in the dark as if you just finished speaking to them. Let gratitude fill your heart as if your wish has already been granted. Drift into sleep in that state and watch how effortlessly the invisible becomes visible. When you awaken, You will find the outer world rearranged to mirror your inner conviction. The call will come as surely as night follows day, because creation is finished and you dared to live from the end. Imagination is not a tool you use. It is the foundation of all reality. Every event, every person, every call you ever receive originates first within the realm of imagination. It is the creative power that forms worlds, molds destiny, and governs all that you call real. When you realize that your imagination is not a daydream, but the actual birthplace of your experiences, you awaken to your true creative nature. You stop reacting to life as though it were happening to you, and instead you begin directing it from within. To attract that call, to make them reach out to you, you do not need to beg, plead, or convince. You only need to imagine from the end and feel the reality of it so deeply that the universe cannot distinguish your imagination from physical fact. The unseen realm responds to feeling, not to effort. The more vividly you imagine and the more deeply you feel, the faster the reflection appears in your world. The call becomes inevitable. Every person you encounter exists within your field of consciousness. They are not separate entities acting independently of your state. They are actors performing the roles you assign to them through imagination. When you imagine them calling you, thinking of you, desiring you, you are writing the script they must play. You may not see how it unfolds, but your inner world sets the stage. The outer world is merely a reflection of the inner film you play in imagination. Consider how easily imagination can move your emotions. You can recall a painful memory and instantly feel sorrow. You can think of a joyful moment and feel happiness flood your being. That alone proves that imagination is real, powerful, and immediate. It does not wait for circumstances to change before it changes you. When you use imagination consciously, you wield that same power deliberately. You are no longer at the mercy of events. You become the architect of them. If you imagine your person calling you, do not do it from lack. Do not imagine it while secretly thinking, "I hope this works." Instead, imagine it from the feeling that it already has worked. Close your eyes and picture the phone lighting up. Hear the specific ringtone or vibration. See their name glowing on the screen. Feel your heart leap with excitement. Hear their voice, warm and familiar, speaking your name. Let that moment play out fully. Imagine the words they might say, the tone, the laughter, the emotion behind it. Let your whole being absorb that feeling as if it is happening now. When imagination becomes so vivid that it feels real, your subconscious accepts it as reality. And since your outer world is nothing but the projection of your subconscious belief. It must manifest accordingly. That is how imagination becomes the magnetic power that draws them to you. You are not forcing their will. You are simply radiating a frequency of being chosen, being remembered, being desired, and they must feel it. The moment you imagine with genuine conviction, you begin sending a silent vibration into the field of consciousness that connects all beings. That vibration moves through them and awakens the corresponding feeling. They begin to think of you, not knowing why. They feel compelled to reach out, unaware that it was your inner vision that stirred their heart. This process is not manipulation, it is divine alignment. You are not bending anyone's will. You are aligning your world with the truth of your inner assumption. There is no separation between you and the one you desire. You are one in consciousness, two expressions of the same divine mind. When you imagine them calling you, you are activating that connection. You are whispering into the invisible fabric of reality, and the message is heard. When imagination is used in love, it produces harmony, connection, and joy. You cannot misuse it without first misusing your own energy. Therefore, always imagine from a place of fulfillment, never desperation. Desperation pushes the desire away because it vibrates with the energy of lack. Fulfillment attracts because it vibrates with completion. When you feel complete within, the outer must reflect that completeness. The call becomes the natural echo of your inner satisfaction. The imagination must be nourished by faith. You cannot imagine once and then undo it with doubt. You must hold the picture with calm certainty. Every time the thought, "they haven't called," arises, replace it with, "they already have." Every time the feeling of waiting creeps in, return to the inner scene where the call has already taken place. That persistence of imagination is the bridge between unseen and seen. The subconscious does not respond to fleeting ideas. It responds to the sustained feeling of reality. Now, the secret that gives imagination its power is assumption. Assumption is faith in action. To assume fulfillment, not desire, is to rest in the knowing that what you seek is already accomplished. It is not enough to wish for the call. You must embody the version of yourself who has already received it. You must live, breathe, and move as that person. When you assume fulfillment, you stop thinking like the one who is waiting. You stop feeling like someone who is left out. You cease to vibrate lack. Instead, you feel calm, whole, and complete. You walk with quiet assurance, as if the universe has already delivered your request. That energy alone is what attracts all good things to you. The one who feels fulfilled is magnetic. The one who feels lacking repels what they want. Assumption is the invisible act of faith that precedes manifestation. You assume the call has happened, and life responds to your conviction. You might notice subtle changes at first. The urge to check your phone less often, a sudden sense of peace, random memories of them surfacing in your mind. Then, out of nowhere, you receive a sign, a song that reminds you of them, a message from someone who mentions their name, a sudden impulse to look at your phone, and there it is. Their message, their call, their presence returning into your world. It feels miraculous, but it is not. It is law. When you assume fulfillment, you are telling your subconscious that the event is done. And since your subconscious governs all creation, it begins rearranging circumstances, thoughts, and even other people's behavior to make it so. It does not know time, it knows only now. So if you persist in the feeling that the call has already taken place, the subconscious must bring it into your present experience. You see, assumption is rest. It is trust in the unseen. It is the refusal to accept outer appearances as truth. When you look at your silent phone and still feel gratitude for the call, you are living in assumption. When you say, "It's already done," even while your senses deny it, you are living in assumption. And that faith, that quiet inner knowing, bends reality faster than any physical effort could. You cannot hold two opposing states at once. You cannot be fulfilled and waiting at the same time. You must choose. And the moment you choose fulfillment, the desire dissolves into completion. That's the paradox. Only when you stop needing it do you attract it. When you feel as though it's already yours, it comes effortlessly, because there's no resistance left. The energy of assumption is peace, not pressure. Imagine a seed planted in soil. The gardener does not dig it up every day to see if it's growing. He trusts the unseen process. He waters it, gives it light, and knows the growth is certain. Assumption works the same way. The moment you plant the seed of your desire in imagination and feel it real, the unseen begins to move. You don't need to check on it every hour. You don't need to worry about how it will happen. You simply trust that it will, because the seed, your assumption, contains within it the pattern of fulfillment. The fastest way to make them call you, then, is to stop being the one waiting for the call. Become the one who has already received it. In imagination, hear their voice, feel their love, experience the joy of the connection. Rest in that feeling until it becomes your natural state. You will find that your entire mood shifts. You will no longer feel lack or longing. You will feel content, peaceful, magnetic, and from that state, the outer world cannot resist you. When you assume fulfillment, Your energy changes. The way you move, speak, and think transforms. Others feel it. The person you want to call you feels it too. They pick up on that shift subconsciously. They feel drawn to you again. Something within them awakens. A curiosity, a pull, an inner whisper that says, reach out. They may not understand why, but they feel compelled to act. That is how assumption works. It impresses upon the collective consciousness the pattern you hold within yourself. You are not creating something new. You are aligning with what already exists. The fulfilled version of you, the one who has received the call, is real, alive, and present in another layer of consciousness. By assuming that state, you merge with it. And once you merge with it, the physical must mirror it. The call becomes the outer confirmation of your inner alignment. Assumption frees you from worry. It releases the tension of wanting. It allows you to live in gratitude rather than anxiety. Every time doubt whispers, remind yourself that the outer world is only catching up to your inner state. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are waiting for your inner conviction to settle so deeply that reality must yield to it. So, imagine vividly, feel deeply, and assume completely. These three are one. Imagination is the canvas, feeling is the color, and assumption is the act of painting the finished picture. Once you have done this inwardly, the picture must appear outwardly. You have declared it finished within, and creation mirrors that declaration. Every desire fulfilled in your life will follow this pattern. First, you imagine it. Second, you feel it. Third, you assume it as done. Then, without effort, the physical reflects it. It is not magic, it is law. And the law never fails. So tonight, instead of wondering when the phone will ring, close your eyes and step into the moment after it has. Let the sound of their voice echo in your mind. Feel the smile on your face. Feel the warmth of connection flowing through you. Let that feeling fill you so completely that it becomes your reality. When you awaken tomorrow, do not question it. Walk as though it already happened. Speak with calm confidence. Carry yourself as one who has been chosen. That vibration alone will draw the call to you. You are the cause, not the effect. You are the one who commands, not the one who waits. Imagination and assumption are your tools, and when used together, they turn desire into destiny. The moment you imagine it real and assume it done, the universe moves instantly to fulfill your decree. The phone will ring, the voice you long to hear will return, and you will understand that it was never about them. It was always about the power within you to imagine, to feel, and to assume it real. There is a sacred moment each night when your conscious mind softens and the door to your subconscious opens wide. It is that brief twilight between wakefulness and sleep, when imagination is most potent and the seeds of tomorrow are planted. Whatever feeling you carry into that state becomes the blueprint of your reality. If you wish for them to call, then before you close your eyes, you must already be living in the reality where the call has happened. The mind that drifts to sleep in longing awakens to longing, but the mind that falls asleep in fulfillment awakens to fulfillment. The subconscious does not question, it obeys. It does not reason, it accepts. And when you give it the feeling of completion, it recreates that feeling in your waking world. This is why the state you fall asleep in is more important than all the words you speak in prayer. You may affirm your desire all day long, but if you drift to sleep with worry, with doubt, or with absence, you undo the work of the day. The subconscious is the fertile soil where imagination becomes form. And sleep is the sacred time when you plant your command. If you fall asleep imagining the phone lighting up, hearing their voice, feeling the joy of connection, your subconscious receives that scene as truth and begins arranging everything necessary to bring it about. You do not need to struggle or strategize. It will be done through you and for you, effortlessly. In this drowsy state, pictures become real. The veil between the seen and unseen grows thin, and your inner movie begins to imprint upon the deeper layers of consciousness. So, as you lie in bed, close your eyes and allow the day to fade. Let go of any tension in your body. Feel your breathing slow and steady. Imagine the phone beside you. See it light up. Hear the specific tone or vibration that belongs to them. Let your heart respond as though it is happening now. Hear their voice, soft, warm, perhaps with that familiar smile in it. Let that sound move through you until you can feel the truth of it in your chest. Whisper silently within, "It has happened. I am grateful." Then surrender to sleep. Do not try to control the details. The subconscious does not need your help with how. It only requires your clarity about what. Your task is to give it the finished picture and the feeling that the wish has been fulfilled. Everything else is orchestrated invisibly. You may dream of them, or you may not, but the seed is planted. The next day, you will notice small shifts. The world will begin to echo your new vibration. You might see their name unexpectedly. Hear a song that reminds you of them. Or simply feel a deep peace where there used to be restlessness. These are signs that the subconscious has accepted your command to sleep in the state of the wish fulfilled is to rest as the one who already has what they desire. You are not reaching forward in time, you are collapsing time. You are bringing the unseen into now. As you drift into slumber, there should be no struggle, no doubt, no sense of waiting, only satisfaction, only gratitude. You are not imagining to make it happen. You are imagining because it already has happened. This subtle shift in awareness transforms the act from hope to faith, from effort to ease. The subconscious mind is loyal beyond comprehension. It will reproduce whatever it is impressed with most deeply, whether good or bad. When you give it the feeling of hasn't happened yet, it continues to recreate that experience of waiting. But when you give it the feeling of it is done, it faithfully brings forth that completion into the outer world. That is why this practice works overnight. It bypasses the resistance of the waking mind. In sleep, the conscious guard is down, and the subconscious accepts without argument. The feeling you hold at that moment goes straight to the heart of creation. So, make that last moment before sleep sacred. Let it be the altar where you lay your fulfilled desire. Feel their voice, the connection, the laughter, the softness of their tone. Imagine the way your body feels after you hang up. The smile that lingers, the peace that fills you. Do not overthink it, feeling is enough. The subconscious does not respond to logic, only to emotion. If you can fall asleep with even a fragment of that joy in your heart, it will multiply through the night. When you awaken, resist the temptation to check your phone immediately in anxiety. Instead, remain in the energy of fulfillment. Remember what you felt before sleep and carry it with you into the new day. Walk, speak, and think as the person who has already received what they asked for. The outer call may come that very day or soon after, but it will always come at the perfect moment. You will not need to force it or question it. It will feel natural, inevitable, almost casual, because your inner world accepted it as fact long before the physical confirmed it. The subconscious never sleeps, even when you do. It continues working, creating, rearranging. It touches the hearts and minds of others. It orchestrates coincidences, dreams, impulses, and opportunities. While you rest, it builds the bridge of events that leads from imagination to reality. That is why the command given before sleep is so powerful. You are entrusting your creation to the part of you that never fails, that never doubts, that operates with divine intelligence. Sleep, then, is not the end of the day. It is the beginning of creation. You can transform your entire life by mastering the art of sleeping in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Each night becomes a silent ritual of alignment, a conversation with the infinite that speaks in the language of emotion. Whatever you fall asleep feeling becomes the story you awaken to. If you can fall asleep in love, you will awaken to love. If you can fall asleep in gratitude, you will awaken to abundance. And if you can fall asleep in the joy of that call already received, you will awaken to its physical reflection. So let go tonight. Do not plead, do not doubt, do not ask how. Simply close your eyes. Step into that inner scene and rest as though it is already yours. Let your last conscious thought be one of fulfillment. The unseen will do the rest. When you awaken, you will find that something has shifted, something subtle but undeniable. And soon, as naturally as the dawn, the call will come, not because you chased it, but because you dared to sleep as though it had already happened. When you understand this truth, you realize that nothing in your outer world has ever been separate from your inner state. Every call, every message, every reunion begins within you first. The outer world is only the echo of the inner conversation you hold in imagination. When you master the art of sleeping in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are no longer at the mercy of chance. You become the author of your own story. The moment you rest in the state of completion, the universe moves with precision to mirror your inner reality. So tonight, let your heart be still. Let your imagination carry you beyond doubt and into knowing. Fall asleep as the one who has already received what they desired. Let gratitude replace longing. Let peace replace need, and let faith replace waiting. For when you sleep in fulfillment, you awaken in manifestation. The unseen power within you never fails. It only awaits your command. And when you give it that command through feeling, it works through the night to make your desire visible. The call will come, the connection will return, and you will know that it was your inner certainty that brought it forth. Everything you seek already lives within you, waiting for you to believe it real. Close your eyes for a moment and withdraw your attention from the world around you. Forget what your senses declare to be true. Forget the facts, the limitations, the impossibilities that have chained your mind to the visible world. For the visible is nothing but the shadow cast by the invisible. The real power lies not in what you see, but in what you feel within yourself. To feel it real is to live inwardly in the state of the wish fulfilled until it becomes the only reality to you. You must enter the scene of your desire as though it were already true, and you must dwell there until the world around you bends to reflect it. Feeling is the secret key that opens the door between the seen and the unseen. Thought alone does not move the world, but feeling, deep, vivid, living feeling, does. Imagine now that what you desire is already yours. Do not wish for it, do not hope for it, assume it. Take it in your mind and clothe it with emotion. Let it feel natural, as though it could not be otherwise. If you long for love, feel loved. If you seek abundance, feel abundant. If you desire freedom, feel free. Let the mood of your fulfilled desire fill you so completely that when you open your eyes, you no longer look for proof, you live in proof. The law of life responds not to the words you speak, but to the vibration of what you feel to be true. Many people speak of faith, yet few understand that faith is the substance of feeling. To believe is not to repeat affirmations endlessly. It is to accept inwardly that what you desire already exists in the unseen realm. Faith is a feeling, an inner knowing that compels all circumstances to rearrange themselves according to your assumption. Every state of consciousness already exists, waiting only for you to occupy it. The moment you feel yourself to be the person you desire to be, that state becomes your dwelling place. Remain there long enough, and the outer world must mirror it. Life cannot withhold from you what you have claimed in feeling. You are not a beggar of fate, you are the creator of it. Close the gap between desire and realization by living as though the desire were already fulfilled. When you lie down to sleep, enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, the peace that would be yours if your dream were a fact now. Drift into sleep in that mood, and your subconscious, the infinite power within, will bring it forth in ways you cannot foresee. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs all creation. Your only task is to assume and feel the end. Persist in the assumption. Even when appearances contradict it, remain faithful to the feeling of fulfillment. For every outer event is but the reflection of an inner conviction. There is a moment when the inner state becomes so real, so alive, that it begins to project itself into the world of form. People will move, circumstances will shift, doors will open, all to reflect the invisible act of your imagination. The world is a mirror, showing you what you have assumed to be true. If you dislike what you see, do not fight the mirror. Change your feeling, and the reflection must change. Everything begins and ends within you. You are the operant power, the silent cause behind every visible effect. What you feel deeply, you create. The world may call it coincidence or luck, but you will know it is law. The moment you take your desire into the silence of feeling, it is already done. When next you look upon your world, you will meet only yourself, pushed out. Do not wait for signs from the outer world to confirm your inner conviction. The outer world is slow. It is the shadow that follows the movement of your inner being. To demand proof before belief is to live forever bound to delay. The wise know that feeling is the proof of unseen reality. The moment you feel it, you have created it. Time is only the instrument through which it becomes visible. When you truly understand this, you cease to live as a victim of circumstance. You no longer react to life, you create it. You become calm where others panic, patient where others despair. For you know that all things are taking shape from the invisible pattern you have already accepted within. The outer must conform. It has no choice. Every day you are selecting states of consciousness by what you dwell upon, what you accept, what you feel to be true. You are always imagining, always assuming, always feeling something. Most do so unconsciously, drifting from fear to doubt, from worry to hope, and then wonder why life mirrors confusion. But the moment you become deliberate, the moment you choose the feeling of fulfillment and make it your resting place, you begin to command reality itself. Let this become your practice. Each time a desire arises, do not reach outward. Turn inward. Construct in imagination a simple scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. It might be a friend congratulating you, a letter received, a scene of joy and completion. Enter that scene in your mind and feel the emotion as though it were happening now. Let your imagination carry you beyond doubt, beyond time. Let the sensation of it sink into the depths of your being until it feels real. The world of imagination is not a dream. It is the creative workshop of reality. Everything that has ever been created began first as an image felt as real. The invisible world is the womb from which the visible is born. What you feel in imagination today will harden into fact tomorrow. This is the law, immutable and unfailing. There will come a time when you realize that nothing stands between you and the life you desire except the state you now occupy. You are free to move from one state to another, not by effort or struggle, but by feeling. Change the feeling of I am, and you change your world. Say quietly within, I am already what I desire to be, and persist in that inner assurance. Soon the walls that seem to confine you will crumble, and life will reshape itself to mirror your new identity. Be gentle but firm with yourself. The old state will tempt you to return to doubt, to fear, to visible facts. But stand still within the new feeling. Let faith become your atmosphere. Let gratitude become your language. When you feel the joy of fulfillment before the evidence appears, you are aligning with the creative power itself. And when that alignment is perfect, the outer world cannot resist your inner command. Every dream is already accomplished in the unseen. You need only enter its vibration through feeling. The moment you claim it in consciousness, it begins to move toward manifestation. You are not becoming something new, you are remembering what you already are. The secret is not to force the world to change, but to change the inner tone from which you view the world. When you change your inner mood, the outer reflection must follow. There is no other way. The law is perfect, and it never fails. So feel it real. Live as though your wish were already fulfilled. Rest in that conviction, and the invisible will become visible effortlessly, faithfully, inevitably. And as you move through the world, carry this knowing quietly within you, that what you feel deeply and persistently must appear. Do not hurry the process. Do not doubt the unfolding. The unseen power within you never sleeps and never forgets. Each time you return to the feeling of your fulfilled desire, you breathe life into it again. Walk as though your prayer has already been answered. Speak as though the promise has already been kept. Feel as though you already are all that you wish to be. For when you live from that inner certainty, creation bows to your vision, and the invisible becomes visible. Remain faithful to the feeling, and life will prove you right. Act as if everything always works out for you, and watch how the universe bends to make it so. The moment you dare to assume that life is always unfolding in your favor, you step into the frequency where things align with ease. You stop chasing, you stop doubting, and you begin to live as if every detail is already arranged for your good. When you live in that state, when you think, speak, and move as if every outcome serves you, you command unseen forces to bring your desire to pass. You must understand, nothing changes until you do. Reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Every condition you experience is a mirror of the state you occupy within. So if you live as if life works out for you, it must, because you have accepted that as your inner truth. The world outside simply echoes the world within. If you carry faith, the outer world must mirror faith's evidence. If you walk in certainty, life will unfold with certainty. Acting as if is not pretending or forcing, it is knowing. It is moving through your day with quiet assurance, even when appearances contradict you. It is smiling when logic says you shouldn't, trusting when reason offers no proof, and walking with the confidence of one who knows that the script has already been written in their favor. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you stop arguing with circumstances. You stop waiting for evidence before you believe. Instead, your belief becomes the evidence. The secret is to persist in this inner knowing. Even when the outer world appears delayed or uncertain, remain faithful to your assumption. Say to yourself, I may not see it yet, but I know it's working out for me. Hold that attitude until the unseen becomes seen. Do not waver. Do not panic. Do not fall into the old habit of worry. Every time you choose trust over fear, you shift timelines. You move into the reality where what you desire is already done. This way of being is magnetic. It draws to you the people, opportunities, and moments that reflect your conviction. You begin to notice that coincidences multiply, doors open effortlessly, and things align in perfect timing. You no longer struggle or chase because your state of being is enough. The moment you feel that things are working out, life rearranges itself to confirm it. Acting as if everything works out for you means carrying an inner stillness even when others panic. It means speaking words of victory when the situation looks impossible. It means giving thanks before the blessing arrives, because in truth, it already has. Gratitude is not a reaction, it's a declaration. It tells the universe, I already have it, and so you do. Stop waiting for life to prove itself to you. Prove your faith to life. Walk like the one who has already received. Talk like the one who is already favored. Feel like the one who knows everything is always turning for good. You are not hoping for miracles. You are living from them. You are not chasing answers. You are embodying the one who already knows. If you find your mind wandering into doubt, gently bring it back. Say within yourself, everything always works out for me. Repeat it until it feels natural. Let it become the rhythm of your heart and the tone of your thoughts. Soon you will see the smallest details of your day begin to align with that statement. Delays will prove to be blessings. Disappointments will reveal themselves as redirections. Everything, even the things you once resisted, will be seen as part of a perfect orchestration for your highest good. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you rise above the vibration of fear and uncertainty. You become unshakable because your faith is not tied to circumstances. It is rooted in awareness. You know that what you imagine, you become. And because you assume the best must be reflected back. You walk through life knowing that the divine order is your ally, that no obstacle can truly stand in your way, and that even apparent setbacks are only setups for greater fulfillment. You begin to experience life differently. You meet challenges with calm assurance, because you understand that every seeming problem carries its own solution within it. You no longer ask, what if it doesn't work? But rather, how beautifully will this work out in my favor? This shift in language is a shift in reality. It tells your subconscious mind that you are certain. And your subconscious has no choice but to make your certainty real. So live today as if the universe is conspiring for your joy. Assume that every delay hides divine timing. Trust that every detour is leading you exactly where you are meant to be. Let the feeling of "it's all working out" settle deep within your being. When that feeling becomes natural, everything you once struggled for will begin to flow effortlessly into your experience. Act as if you are the most fortunate being alive. Act as if every encounter, every moment, every breath is evidence that life adores you. You will see miracles where others see problems, peace where others see chaos, and blessings where others see loss. This is not delusion, it is divine alignment. You are aligning with the truth that life reflects your inner conviction. And once you begin to live this way, fully convinced, fully surrendered, fully assured, you will realize that everything truly does work out for you, not by chance, but by law. The law of your own assumption, the law of faith, the law of inner certainty. Live from it. Speak from it. Feel from it. And you will never again question how or when. You will simply know, it always works out for me. Act as if everything always works out for you. Make that the foundation of your life, the silent song you hum beneath every thought and breath. The one who knows this truth doesn't wait for the world to change. He moves in faith as though it already has. When you decide that life favors you, it begins to. When you move as if every event is leading you higher, even the detours reveal themselves as divine redirections. You are not waiting for things to work. You are living from the reality where they already have. When you wake in the morning, do not let the old thoughts rush in. Begin with the awareness that today is arranged perfectly for your good. Whisper within yourself, everything is unfolding for me. Let that be your inner atmosphere. As you move through your morning, hold that energy. When the traffic slows, when someone delays you, when plans shift, remain unmoved. This is still part of your divine alignment. When you assume that even the smallest disruptions are working for you, you rise beyond irritation. You see divine choreography where others see chaos. Living as if everything works out for you is not about denying what is. It is about recognizing that what is will soon transform because of who you are being. You are not a victim of conditions. You are the cause behind them. You can choose to react in fear, or you can rest in faith. Faith is not passive, it is active imagination. It is inner seeing that knows its vision will crystallize in time. So when the world gives you reasons to doubt, that is your cue to deepen your knowing. Stand taller in your invisible certainty. Speak softly to yourself. I know this is working for me, even if I can't see how. Soon, that state becomes your natural dwelling place. You begin to think differently, feel differently, and magnetize differently. Life seems to bend toward your expectations because it always has. It is simply that now you have learned to expect the best. You stop giving your energy to worry because you understand that worry is faith misused. It imagines unfavorable outcomes. So instead of rehearsing fear, you rehearse trust. You practice the feeling of things being beautifully aligned. You practice calmness. You practice ease. You practice joy before any visible reason to feel it. And then the visible reasons appear. Unexpected messages, perfect timing, fortunate meetings, all start showing up as if the universe has been eavesdropping on your inner conversations. Because it has, the outer world is but an echo chamber of your inner state. When you act as if everything works out for you, you are programming life to mirror that very belief. Your assumptions are creative. The world responds not to what you want, but to what you believe to be true. So believe that life is always turning in your favor. Believe that nothing can truly go wrong. Even what seems wrong is only the setup for what's right. This is the secret that transforms ordinary living into a dance of miracles. The one who lives as if everything works out is never truly disappointed, because every outcome is seen as a divine unfolding. If something leaves, it must be making room for something greater. If something delays, it must be preparing the perfect conditions for success. There is no failure, only formation. Every experience becomes part of the masterpiece of your becoming. You begin to notice that people treat you differently when you carry this energy. They sense your calmness, your quiet power. Opportunities feel drawn to you because you are no longer radiating resistance. You have surrendered, not in defeat, but in dominion. You have released the need to control outcomes because you know outcomes naturally serve you. You begin to feel the difference between striving and allowing. Striving says, I must make it happen. Allowing says, it's already happening for me. One exhausts you, the other energizes you. One lives in fear, the other lives in faith. To act as if everything works out for you is to live in continual gratitude. You give thanks not just for what is obvious, but for what is unseen. You thank life for its unseen orchestration. You thank every past event that taught you strength. You thank every challenge for birthing clarity. Gratitude changes your frequency. It turns the noise of worry into the music of harmony. Gratitude is how you speak to the universe in its native language, vibration. When you say, "Thank you," you are saying, "I trust." When you say, "Thank you," you are saying, "I already have." This way of life is not about pretending that you never feel doubt. You will. Doubt is the shadow cast by a bright light of desire. But you do not need to linger there. Doubt comes, and you smile. You say, "Even this is working out for me." You bless the doubt because it reminds you to return to faith. Every time you choose belief over fear, you are building spiritual muscle. You are proving to yourself that you can stand in peace no matter what appears. That peace becomes your power. It is the stillness that moves mountains. People will wonder how you remain calm when things look uncertain. They will not understand that you are no longer reacting to appearances. You are responding to your inner truth. You live from the invisible cause, not the visible effect. You understand that appearances are transient. Only your assumption is permanent. So you guard your assumption carefully. You feed it daily with affirmations of victory. You refuse to water the weeds of worry. Instead, you water the garden of faith. You speak kindly to yourself. You remind yourself that the unseen power working through you cannot fail. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you enter the flow of divine timing. You stop trying to rush what is ripening. You trust the rhythm of life. You understand that some manifestations take time because they are aligning in ways beyond your comprehension. You no longer feel desperate for proof because the knowing itself is enough. This is true mastery, when you can smile without reason, trust without evidence, and feel secure in the midst of uncertainty. That is when the universe begins to reveal its secrets to you. Every great transformation begins with a shift in identity. When you say, "Everything works out for me," you are not describing circumstances. You are describing yourself. You are saying, "I am the one for whom things always turn in my favor." You are identifying with success, with flow, with grace. The outer world must match that identity. You will attract relationships that honor your peace, work that fulfills you, opportunities that seem tailor-made. You will even attract challenges that help you expand into greater versions of yourself. Because everything truly does work out, not just for your comfort, but for your growth. There will be moments when it looks like things are falling apart. In those moments, you must remember they are actually falling into place. Do not curse the process. Bless it. Say, "This too is part of my perfect unfolding." The delay, the silence, the waiting, All of it is weaving a bigger picture that will make perfect sense in time. The seed must go underground before it blooms. The night must come before the sunrise. So trust your seasons. Trust that winter is preparing spring. Trust that the invisible hand of life is arranging things far better than your logic ever could. To live in this way is to rest in divine certainty. It is to wake up every day with peace instead of panic. It is to move through challenges with grace instead of resistance. You begin to see that nothing outside you holds real power. Only your inner state determines your experience. So you tend to your inner world like a sacred garden. You keep it clear of weeds of fear and doubt. You plant seeds of conviction, joy, and gratitude. You water them daily with the feeling of, it's all working out for me. When you meet someone new, assume they are a blessing. When you start a project, assume it will prosper. When you face a problem, assume it already carries the solution. This assumption is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the way the mind of faith operates. It looks at the same world, but sees through different eyes. It calls the good forth even before it appears. That calling forth is what creation truly is. You are not waiting for evidence. You are giving evidence direction. Soon, this way of being becomes second nature. You stop asking, what if it goes wrong? And instead think, how beautifully will this go right? That single shift changes everything. It calms your nervous system. It rewires your subconscious. It opens your energy to receive. You begin to live in expectation rather than fear. You carry an aura of certainty that others can feel. You walk into rooms and people sense your peace. That peace is contagious. It reminds others of their own inner power. Even the way you speak changes. You stop saying, I hope this works out. You start saying, this is working out perfectly. You stop saying, I can't believe this is happening. You start saying, of course this is happening. Everything always works out for me. You are no longer surprised by blessings. You are accustomed to them. You are no longer waiting for miracles. You are walking in them. Life becomes lighter, easier, more graceful, because you have chosen to live from the end, from the state of already having what you desire. You will notice that life begins to move faster once you stabilize in this awareness. Things that used to take years begin to unfold in weeks. Opportunities that once seemed impossible appear effortlessly. You meet people who help you without knowing why. You stumble into situations that turn in your favor. You begin to laugh at how perfectly timed everything is. This is not luck, it is law. The law that says, as you assume, so it shall be done unto you. The only thing that ever delays manifestation is your own wavering between faith and fear. But once you stop wavering, once you live as if everything is always working, you remove resistance. You stop pushing the current of life. You float, you flow, you allow. And in that allowing, everything that belongs to you begins to come effortlessly. Even when something appears to be taken from you, you know that something greater is being prepared. You no longer mourn the old chapters because you trust the author. You realize that the story of your life has never been out of control. It's just been unfolding perfectly, even through what you once called mistakes. Those moments were not failures, they were foundations. They built your awareness. They deepened your faith. So keep walking in that awareness. Live each day as though the divine order has gone ahead of you to make every crooked path straight. Speak as though everything is orchestrated for your highest good. Feel as though your desires are already done. When you do this, life responds in kind. Circumstances will align to reflect your conviction. People will show up at the right time. Answers will arrive with perfect precision. Everything will begin to mirror your assumption of ease and success. You are not here to struggle. You are here to remember that you are the creator of your reality. Every time you choose the thought, everything always works out for me, you are returning to your original power. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind to attract harmony instead of chaos. You are giving your imagination permission to lead again. And imagination, when believed, always becomes fact. So keep practicing. Keep acting as if it's already done. Keep walking as if the universe itself delights in surprising you with goodness. Because it does. It's waiting for your assumption to stabilize so it can deliver in full measure. The more natural this belief feels, the faster it becomes your living truth. You will reach a point where you no longer have to remind yourself that everything works out. You will simply know. It will become instinct. It will become your natural state of being. And when that happens, you will notice that every day feels guided, every challenge feels purposeful, and every outcome feels perfect. Because it is. Everything truly does work out for you, not because of chance, but because you decided it must. So let this be your quiet vow from this day forward. You will walk as one who knows that life is on your side. You will no longer doubt the unfolding of events, for you understand that all things are serving a divine pattern far greater than appearances. You will think, feel, and act as if every path is leading you to something beautiful, because it is. You will carry peace in the waiting, gratitude in the unfolding, and faith in every unseen moment. Everything always works out for you because that is the truth you have chosen to live from. You have aligned with the law of certainty, the law that bends reality to your conviction. And now, you need not strive or struggle. You need only trust and allow. The universe moves swiftly for the one who believes. Let your heart rest in that knowing, and you will see life reveal its perfection again and again. Everything is working out for you, always has been, and always will.